Morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Which you will thoroughly enjoy. It'll be up and loaded in a couple hours. But I wanted to get in our daily millionaire news before I do another interview for you here. I think in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, about depreciation. So look for that one later in the day. We actually got a CPA coming on to talk about depreciation. But before we do that, we got to talk about the millionaire daily news. And first off, wow, did you see the US housing starts number yesterday? It was outstanding, explosive, whatever you want to call it. It was up 16.9% in December, 13-year high, annual rate of 1.608 million houses. Also, November was revised higher. So, to put it in context, it's 40% higher than last December. So we're talking real, meaningful numbers, right? Both in percentage and absolute. This just goes to our thesis of this channel that I've been sharing for 60 days now, I think, that 2020 is going to be a good year. I don't know how low unemployment, Fed's on hold, housing is going to pick up any slack in the economy because houses don't build themselves. So it is a good time in the economy. Uh, I do I do think it is so good right now that you could look into the future and see inflation. Right? We haven't had an inflation scare, frankly, in my adult life, which I'm old. So one of the outcomes that we have to be sensitive to is inflation getting out of control and really clipping the 2% mark. It's not something we have to worry about in 20. It's probably not something we have to worry about in 2021, but you have to see it out there, right? Unemployment this low, housing kicking off, raw materials getting more expensive, labor is going to get more expensive. So it's not, again, please hear me. It's not something to get concerned about today. But as a real estate investor, right, where your most expensive expense every year is interest, mortgage interest specifically, um, it would probably behoove you to get long-term fixed rate debt um, sooner rather than later, right? It has to come, right? I mean, can you imagine a world where we stay unemployment sub 4%, Fed on hold, where inflation doesn't eventually pick up? I can't imagine it. So just be careful. The other thing, back to a video yesterday that I just collected today, is the housing is 3.1% of the American economy. I didn't realize it was that big. And frankly, new house construction is the largest percentage of that 3.1%. So again, back to a video I think from last night, I can't see housing kind of going away. So uh, it's going to be a big part of the economy for a long time to come. And the biggest part of that is owner occupants. Next up, we got a couple of billionaires coming out saying, "Yay, the economy's good, stock market's going higher." Their quote, get this quote: "I love riding a horse that's running." Okay, sure. I've never really rode a horse, so I get it. I guess it's exciting, but falling off a horse that's running probably hurts. And I don't think it's authentic for these billionaires to come out and try to fan the flames of the stock market when it's already at an all-time high, right? They first off have bets the other way, right? That's how that risk management and all of that. Um, I always feel like they're trying to get the little guy to come in right at the end so they can sell to get out. And I don't know these people. I'll never meet them. Frankly, don't want to meet them. But I don't get a good feeling when that's happening, right? Where I would rather get on a horse, to use their analogy, that's just starting to run. I don't want to get on a horse that's sprinting, because eventually that horse is going to get tired and stop. It's going to throw me off. So I don't know. I see that stuff from these guys, and I'm like, you're not. You're trying to get the little guy in. At least that's how I felt. And maybe I'm just a burned stock market person, and I'll never get over it. Fine, it could be. Like stocks have done great the last 10 years. It's okay. Next up, it's certainly going this way. It looks like Boeing is going to be a topic on this channel for a while, like WeWork was for 90 days until it imploded. Looks like Boeing's new CEO, which wow, he started Monday. He's got a horrible job. Looks like he's going to announce earnings next week, and they're expecting another charge reserve write-off for the 737 Max. Some people are saying it could be as high as $20 billion, which is a quite the charge to take again for suppliers and other airlines getting refunds and the like. It's a pretty scary time. Um, I still wonder if he has the guts to cancel the 737 Max. Maybe call it something else. Maybe rip the software out and start over. I don't know. Because near as I can tell, again with my light reading on the subject, it's not the physical plane that's the challenge. It's the software or some way the software acts differently than other 737s, hence the need for simulators and things of that nature. I just wonder I just wonder if this is not this generation's Tylenol scare, where the Tylenol brand just took it off the shelf, every one, even though there was only a couple that were hit. But anyways, just it's gonna be interesting to see how this unravels and how he fights through this. Really, how the company fights through this, because it's got to be morale and it's got to be very frustrating. Next up, looks like Adidas is betting on Beyonce, and I guess Beyonce is betting on Adidas a little bit. They have come out with her Ivy Park athletic wear. She is the sole owner of it. Hey, Michael, how are you? And um, looks like again, I don't know how this stuff shows up on my feed, but it looks like Beyonce sent big orange boxes to a couple of, I guess, influencers like Ellen and some other actress from the Academy Awards or something. And yeah, she's got an athletic brand, Ivy Park. So uh, she is the sixth most followed person on social media. So I have a feeling that Beyonce is going to sell a ton of athletic wear. Good for her. Her and her husband Jay Z, um, they are they're a brand. They're a storm of activity. So good for them. Uh, and I wish them nothing but success. I think, near as I can tell, they are both authentic people who care, and they are doing big things. And I applaud them for that. They're really showing us what can be done when when you really go after it. So congrats to Beyonce, and congrats to Adidas for making that bet. I think it was very strategic. I think Beyonce's aura and whatnot will take her further. And oh, by the way, if you ever get a chance to see a Beyonce concert, go. I went several years ago, and she puts on an outstanding show. Then last up, talking about manufacturers, thinking about this economy, skilled labor, or as manufacturing changes, there really is a skill gap. So I just read this morning that manufacturers in the U.S. are looking to spend $26.2 billion. Hey, Michael, on upskilling their employees this year. Again, think about it. Unemployment's below 4%. Manufacturing wages probably aren't the highest. Um, yes, her daughter's name is Blue Ivy. I do believe there is a connection between Ivy Park name and her daughter. Uh, so they are 20% are creating training programs this year, and 80% of them are struggling to fill positions. So again, the economy in 2020 is going to be awesome. Lewis, let me know what you think of the book. I think it should be helpful. I wrote it from a nice place to help people. But again, manufacturing is going to be investing. Unemployment is already low. Housing is kicking off. 1.608 million units. My gosh, biggest since '06. 2020 is going to be good. We do have to be concerned about inflation, but that's tomorrow's problem. but I do look that far ahead. Hedge funds telling you to keep betting on the stock market because the horse is running. I get kind of nervous because it hurts when you fall off. Boeing, tough job. We'll see what they have to say this week. Adidas and Beyonce are coming out with or already out with a athletic line called Ivy Park. So that's what I got today for the daily Millionaire News. Going to turn this off now and do my interview with Mr. Bob Langworthy about depreciation, because a lot of you are asking about it, and he's a CPA, and we're going to get some answers. All right, everybody, take care and have a wonderful day.